Well, take a look at the message that I typed up underneath me. It all comes down to building an arsenal around Trey Lance. And I think a lot of the 49ers roster building behaviors over the past two seasons, over the past two drafts, have come with exactly this goal in mind, as they should come, because the 49ers obviously spent a whole lot of capital to trade up for young Trey, and he's probably going to be their starting quarterback in 2022. So when you spend an entire fortune to grab a quarterback like Trey Lance, and obviously you're using multiple years worth of first round draft capital, well, the larger roster better fit his talents. And I think one of the areas where we've seen the 49ers redirect their efforts so that the roster does fit Trey Lance's talents is very clearly the offensive backfield, where the 49ers, they still need strength in numbers. The philosophy along that front hasn't changed. It seems that every single year, once we reach week 10, the 49ers only have one healthy running back remaining. And even that healthy running back isn't fully healthy. He's just available to play. Elijah Mitchell last year was a great example. He was really the lone dog a lot of the time for the 49ers, yet he was really hurt, right? He was banged up time and time again. And Elijah Mitchell toughed it out. You got to give him credit as a rookie. But the overarching lesson was that the 49ers absolutely need bodies in their offensive backfield. They do need to attack with strength and numbers because injuries happen in this position group. And I think they happen because Kyle Shanahan emphasizes speed. And to emphasize speed, you generally have to be a little bit lighter. But he also at the same time emphasizes physicality. So you kind of see a problematic combination there. If you can harness physicality with speed, as the 49ers have done with players like Raheem Mostert, who was a burner, but he also was able to put his shoulder down and make some contact, as they've done with Jeff Wilson, as they've done with Elijah Mitchell. If you can combine those two things, you can terrorize defenses with your running backs, but your running backs are also probably going to get hurt because faster, lighter backs who are also physical, it's going to be tough for them to absorb the kind of damage without injury that they do have to inflict. And, it's a car collision every single time one of these guys inflicts or takes a hit. And a lot of the times they're inflicting the hit, but it doesn't matter. It's going to lead to bruises. And this is why the 49ers need strength and numbers in their backfield, which leads us to Tyrion Davis-Price. He ran at 220 pounds last year at LSU. And Tyrion Davis-Price, the guy's a stud. The guy's got a strong lower body. The guy runs over defenders. We can take a quick look at just a couple of his runs here. It's truck stick action in the SEC over and over and over again. And if you look at Tyrion Davis-Price's stats, his splits last year, he averaged 9 yards per carry in the first half of games. And that was up to 5.6 yards per carry in the second half of games. So the guy was a bruiser. You could see here, he ran at 220 pounds for LSU last season, and he wore defenses down. He's a finisher, downhill running back. This one, he's a slasher. You give him the football, and he's able to find that hole up the middle of the field, and is able to punish defenders. And there's a reason why he's at 5.6 yards per carry in the second half. It's because defenses got tired of tackling him. So for a 49ers backfield that needs strength in numbers, Tyrion Davis-Price is a player who can deliver one of those numbers. You're going to have multiple running backs. You're going to need a goal line guy. You're going to need a third down guy. You need a guy that's going to wear down defenses in the second half. And I think Tyrion Davis-Price is a good puzzle piece to add to that mix. He also isn't slow. He's also a 4.4 40 guy. So, you like that combination, right? You like the 220 pounds. Now, he ran the 4.4 after slimming down to about 210. Will he play at 220 with the 49ers? Is it going to be at 215? I would venture to say 215 because Elijah Mitchell's shooting to be at 215 as well. He had a similar kind of thing with Elijah Mitchell, right? He was a little bit heavier. He was at closer to 220 for Louisiana, not LSU. So both of these guys played at Louisiana colleges, but Elijah Mitchell was with the Ragin' Cajuns, Louisiana smaller school. He grew up idolizing Leonard Fournette and those LSU backs, so it's going to be funny to have an LSU guy in the backfield with him. But Elijah slimmed down for the testing circuit, ran a really good 40, and then was able to build back good weight to get back up to 210 to 212, and really, I think, perform exceptionally well for the 49ers in that 2021 season. Now, Elijah, he did get beaten up. He did get bruised. So he's saying that he wants a little bit more muscle, that he'll be at about 215 for the 49ers this next year. So I'm excited to see where Tyrion Davis-Price is going to be because this is all part of a 49ers running back evolution under Kyle Shanahan. We used to be talking about 195 to 200-pound backs over and over again with Matt Breida. Obviously, Jerick McKinnon was a little bit lighter. The 49ers wanted explosiveness and they wanted speed for the outside zone. But a couple things happened. A, these guys kept on getting hurt year after year after year, and the backfield was decimated. And B, this happened. Trey Lance was added to the roster. And Trey Lance brings a different skill set. He brings the ability to run that read option more consistently to the outside. And hence, there's going to be a chance to interplay that with inside zone runs that obviously require more physical runners than just the standard Shanahan outside zone to the creases that Elijah Mitchell is so good at finding. So if the 49ers are going to run more and more inside zone, well, they're naturally going to want more physical running backs. And I think that helps explain some of the Trey Sermon pick last year. They used the third rounder on Trey Sermon, and he was a little bit more physical, more of the 210 to 215-pound type at Ohio State. I think he's going to pair a lot better with Trey Lance in an inside zone read option type of offense than he would pair with Jimmy Garoppolo in the standard outside zone offense that the 49ers ran in 2021. So that is a theory as to why Trey Sermon didn't get the run that we thought that he might get as a rookie. I think Elijah Mitchell was definitely more tailored toward the outside zone. And I'm very interested to see if Trey Sermon makes that second year leap, especially with Trey Lance as the presumptive starter for the 49ers. Because if you look at this group of running backs, there's commonality across the board, right? Elijah Mitchell, physical guy, 210 plus. Jeff Wilson, obviously, I mean, he's the guy that goes into a dark place. He's a physical guy as well. And although he's run his share of outside zone, I think the 49ers do not mind Jeff Wilson Jr. bruising at all parts of the field. Trey Sermon, we're still waiting to see what the 49ers can get from him. He's going to need to make that year two jump after the disappointing rookie season. But I think, at 210 plus with his resume, running all kinds of stuff at Ohio State, I think that the inside zone additions could be beneficial for Trey Sermon. And all of a sudden you have Tyrion Davis-Price in this backfield as well. And Davis-Price, as I just said, he ran at 220 at LSU last year. You saw the highlights. The guy can throw his weight around. He's got that strong base. And I think that rounds out your initial running back room before guys inevitably start getting hurt. So as of right now, you have JaMycal Hasty's kind of a practice squad stash, if you will, because if the season started today, and everybody was healthy, one of these guys isn't making the team because you're carrying 5 running backs and Kyle Juszczyk is going to be one of them at the fullback position. But again, numbers are not a bad thing here, which is why the 49ers picked Davis-Price in the 3rd round. And that's actually led to a lot of consternation, I've noticed on social media. A lot of people complaining that the 49ers used another 3rd round pick on a running back. And I think people are confusing a couple things here. And the simplest way I could put it is that people are confusing Shanahan running backs need to be frequently replaced with Shanahan running backs are easily replaceable. A lot of people think that the latter is the case, that Shanahan running backs are easily replaceable, that you could just plug in an undrafted free agent or a 6th rounder like Elijah Mitchell and everything's automatically going to be okay. If that were true, then the 49ers wouldn't have had to resort to what initially was a desperation move last season by putting Deebo Samuel into the backfield. That's because everybody was hurt. And if running backs were so easily replaceable, the 49ers could have signed anybody off the street, anybody off another team's practice squad like Jacquez Patrick, and they would have been A-okay. That room would have kept on steamrolling along. Alas, that obviously was not the case. The room did not keep steamrolling along, even when guys started getting hurt, and the 49ers had to move Deebo Samuel to the backfield. So these running backs are not easily replaceable. As the analytics community seems to think that you can plug and play into the Shanahan system, the actual truth of what's happened does not support that conclusion. You cannot just plug anybody into this system and work at running back. That's why Deebo Samuel got so many carries last year, and that's why he's got some, I don't want to say leverage, but that's why he has some ammo in a contract dispute with the 49ers, because they did have to put him at running back to make ends meet. You need physical, fast, tough runners, and those guys just don't grow on trees. You have to be able to find running backs that do work, and that's why Kyle Shanahan has felt that he's needed to go into the 3rd round for both Trey Sermon in 2021 and Tyrion Davis-Price in 2022. Now, Tyrion Davis-Price also went lower in the third round, right? So this isn't like the 49ers used the first rounder or even a higher second round pick. They used number 93 overall on him. A lot of the projections, I think, had him going in the fifth, right? But lower third round pick, number 93. I mean, is there that big of a difference between that and a fourth or fifth round pick? Not really. Not in a deep draft where you're not sure where every single player is going to go. You're going to have your mock drafts on the outside. You're going to have what the teams think. If Kyle Shanahan really likes Tyrion Davis-Price and he believes he's going to fit the system, he's going to make that by committee situation better. It's one of those things where you're not going to be able to truly determine whether he's right or wrong until after we see how this 49ers backfield pans out. But what is undeniable is that the 49ers need bodies in that backfield, and they believe Tyrion Davis-Price is going to be one of them. Now, with that 220-pound frame last year, I mean, even if he's a bit lighter this season, this time around, Tyrion Davis-Price has got a really sturdy lower body. And what that means is that he's going to be ready to go from day one out of the backfield to pass protect. He's going to be able to dig in there and anchor. He's already a relatively good pass protector. And you don't see that all too often for these running backs coming out of college. You know, it's not, I mean, this is something that people don't talk about because the flashy runs are what make the highlight reel. But pass protecting as a running back is one of the harder things to do in what's already a really difficult sport. You've got you've got linebackers coming in at running back type speeds these days, right? You have linebackers who weigh 220, 225. Some guys are even 215. These guys are hauling. And if they're not hauling, then they're probably big. They're probably still really intimidating. The day of the 240 to 250 pound linebacker is over, but you can have a 230 pounder that's really physical. And those guys are coming downhill on blitzes. And it's the running back's job to pick those linebackers up. And the running back has to dig his feet in to the turf, and he has to absorb the contact of a guy who's oftentimes bigger than him, who's got the benefit of momentum. That's not an easy thing to do. It's something that requires some courage. So it's not something for a wimp out there. He's got to be able to absorb a blow. He's got to be able to take a bruise, and he has to show the strength and also the agility to be able to get in front of these linebackers and stonewall them. So pass protection from a running back's perspective is not easy. And when you have a player who could potentially do that out of the gate at the NFL level, and Tyrion Davis-Price, that's valuable, especially ahead of Trey Lance, because it all comes down to protecting Trey. It all comes down to building an arsenal that not only can be successful around him in the run game, but can also protect him when the 49ers run play action. And I think that's what they really like about Tyrion Davis-Price, is that he can do that. So if you take a look at the 49ers running backs room, Mitchell, Wilson, Sermon, Davis-Price, the outlier there, the smaller guy is JaMychal Hasty, because even Jordan Mason out of Georgia Tech, who's the 49ers undrafted free agent in the running backs room, he's a 223-pounder. So 49ers are getting bigger at running back, and it's so they could do some more outside zones. They could dig in pass protection, so they can zag while other teams are zigging. Defenses are downsizing. The 49ers want to get more physical at running back, and maybe that's also the path to get healthier. But the bottom line is that you need strength in numbers at that position. And Tyrion Davis-Price is just the latest number in that flex for the 49ers. The big stat for him is 3.9 yards per carry in the first half of SEC play last year, 5.6 yards per carry in the second half. The guy's a finisher. He wears defenses down, and he's going to be another cog in the machine for Kyle Shanahan. Now, you do have to get, I think, better play from Tyrion Davis-Price as a rookie than you got from Trey Sermon, a fellow third rounder, as a rookie in 2021, if the 49ers hope to be where they want to get in 2022. But again, with Trey Lance supposedly taking over, I do think the running game is going to look different in 2022. I do think that you're going to have the 49ers focused on different aspects schematically, and they hope that unlocks Trey Lance in 2022. And they also, of course, hope that that gets Tyrion Davis-Price off to a good start in his career. So those are my thoughts on the 49ers running back room. We don't know anymore until this actually unfolds. And this is going to be the last thing to unfold, because in camp, they're not tackling to the ground. And as you saw in the Tyrion Davis-Price video, it's hard to tackle Tyrion Davis-Price to the ground. So the preseason games may tell us something, but we probably won't have answers for about 4 months about this position. So until then, I could just tell you about the 49ers vision. All right, I'm going to answer a couple of questions. Birthday's tomorrow. Super excited. It's going to be good times. I'm still going to be working hard on my birthday. I'm doing all these interviews for these feature stories and, just content to cover the 49ers draft class. So be sure to check all that out on The Athletic. Wrote about A.J. Brown's contract and Deebo Samuel the other day. I'll take a couple questions right now, and then I have to get going. Appreciate the support. If you're joining the channel right now, you like the camera quality, well, just hit that like button, hit the subscribe button, support the channel. Subscribe to The Athletic. So many of you have been joining aboard on The Athletic, and I see in the comment section that those of you who are pulling the trigger on that aren't disappointed that you have done that. It's a great community. There's a lot of in-depth writing there. We cover the 49ers, I think, deeper than anywhere else. So the YouTube channel has been a nice compliment to The Athletic, and I think that you get some of the video information and you get some of the written information, and with both of them, you become a much more knowledgeable 49ers fan. Do you think Price plays this year and how many snaps? So he better play this year. At the end of the day, the 49ers need bodies in the backfield, and you can't just burn any draft pick on a guy who doesn't play. It was tough for the 49ers. I think that Trey Sermon wasn't quite ready to contribute in the way that they needed him to last year. You're going to need more from Trey Sermon. You're going to need some stuff right away from Tyrion Davis-Price. How many snaps? I don't know. I'd have to look at a snap breakdown for a ideal Shanahan year to tell you. But if you can divvy the load up in the backfield, you're going to be better, because it's like maintaining a bullpen, right? Throughout the course of a 162-game season, you probably could pitch some guys more than you want to in the first few months through April, through June or July. But do you actually want to pitch them that much? No, because you want to peak at the right time. You want that bullpen to be throwing gas come October. So you want the running backs room to be delivering gas come January, come February for the 49ers, if that analogy holds. And last season it did with Deebo Samuel, but it was thanks to Deebo Samuel. He was the savior of the 49ers backfield, and you don't want to rely on that again. So 49ers hope that Tyrion Davis-Price delivers. Thank you, Luke. I will enjoy $2 off a beer for my birthday. So I appreciate you guys. You guys, why don't you guess how old I'm turning tomorrow? Put your guess for my age in the comment section tomorrow, and then I'll let you all know if you were right on my birthday. So I've probably dropped hints before, but I'm curious to see what you guys think about my age. You can tell I trimmed the beard a little bit, so maybe I look younger, maybe it looks older. She did a good job yesterday, though. Yeah, sure, 45, 65. Yeah, all these guesses coming in. I want somebody to say 70. All right, 37. I like the sound of that. 38. I like the sound of that. Cool. 30. Nobody said anything in the 20s except for the guy that says I'm 21, which I don't take as a compliment, because I think that men are supposed to age like wine, right? I'm supposed to be sitting here. I'm supposed to be happy that I'm progressing further into my 30s. I just gave you guys the first hint. It's supposed to be a graceful age. So if somebody says I'm 21 when I'm clearly not 21, I would think then, I mean, if I look like I'm 21, I guess I'll take it as a compliment, but I don't think I'm supposed to take that as a compliment. I'm supposed to be looking a little bit better here as I progress into my 30s. All right, we're seeing a lot of good guesses, so I'll let you all know tomorrow. All right, any questions? Let's go. Will the Niners miss Bobby? Yeah, I mean, I think you always miss Bobby Turner. The guy's a legend. They miss him a lot in the pre-draft process because Bobby Turner will legitimately call guys 40 times. Like, he's just working the phone. He gets the most detailed scouting reports on these players. So, but Anthony Lynn is a pretty good backup as a running backs coach this year. Anthony Lynn, former 49ers running back, former head coach of the Chargers. He's replacing Bobby Turner for the time being. Bobby Turner recovers from those knee surgeries. And based on what I hear, Bobby Turner wants to return, and the 49ers always have a door open for him. All right, everybody, subscribe to the channel. Hit that like button. Thanks again for everything. We'll talk to you all soon. Hope you enjoyed the video. Talk to you all next time.